Today's video is just going to be a quick follow-up to my scam graphics card migration video that I did about a month ago. Now, for those of you that have recently suffered a head injury and don't remember what happened in that video, basically I bought up 3 pretty suspect looking graphics cards from Amazon of all places. And then, after more than a month, only one of them had actually showed up. Well, now it's more than 2 months later and we have the other 2 graphics cards. So today we're gonna have a look at them because I'm really hoping that they're not just gonna be identity swapped GTS 450s, but maybe something a bit more interesting. At this point, I actually have no idea what's in these 2 packets. You, as the viewer, actually know more about what's going on in this video than I do at the moment. But yeah, let's open them up and see what we've got here. So here we have a GTX 970 apparently. So this is a fake Amazon card I bought ages ago. I've actually been refunded for this card at this point. Some instructions on how to install the drivers that come on a disc here, and then the actual graphics card is one of these fake GTS 450 cards. I can just see it through the packaging. At this point, I think I own about 3 of these already. So this is just another fake Amazon card. We've got a GTX 970 here supposedly, so that's the configuration that they sell this one in. Interestingly enough, it's actually got a 6-pin power connector, which I've not seen on this card before. In fact, this may actually not be a GTS 450. This PCB looks different. I've not seen this PCB before. So that's interesting. We can check this out and see what fake graphics card this is a bit later, because this is definitely not a GTX 970. Let's move over to this package, but let's see what this one is. I actually have a feeling this is the other fake card that I bought off of Amazon. GTX 750 apparently. Oh, that's interesting. Oh yes, this is the other Amazon card that I bought. Here it is. This has a slightly different shroud color to the other one. I mean, you can see this one's black. This is the one that I usually see for sale on like Wish or whatever. Whereas this one, they actually painted it a different color. And I can imagine that oh, that's a very strong chemical smell coming off that. But I can imagine that they did that so that they can potentially scam more people. But this is interesting because these 2 are the same card. Like, that's the same PCB. And this one, as you can see here, says it's a GTX 970. And this one is supposedly a GTX 750 Ti. So I guess the first thing that we're going to do is plug them into a system. They have the same cooler on as the Wish card that I did a video on a while ago, but they're not. They've got a different PCB, so that's actually kind of interesting. Let's throw these 2 GPUs in my testbed to see what they actually function as. Now, some of you may have noticed the AIO orientation in my testbed, and for those of you that are triggered by it, first off, look at it! Look at it! Ah, I'm just joking with you. There you go. Does that make you feel better, you little Gary, you? Okay, but let's get back to the graphics card. Here we have the definitely not a fake GTX 970 in there. Yeah, I'm curious to see what the system's gonna do with it. And then after we try out that one, we're gonna test this little bad boy. But I'm also gonna take off the cooler a bit later. Look at that, it just... So basically what's going on here is that this bit of aluminium of the heatsink actually blocks the power connector from clipping into place, so you can't actually plug the connector in because of the heatsink. There we go. So all you have to do is brute force your own cooler a little bit, but it's plugged in now. Let's see if it powers on. And that is a telltale sign of one of these fake graphics cards where it doesn't output the whole signal. Let's try Control-Alt-Delete and see what the task manager says. Oh, it actually doesn't even read that the system has a GPU in it. That's pretty funny. Well, at least Device Manager recognizes it as a GTX 970, so that means it's gotta be legit, right? Okay, so every time I try and install drivers for this GPU, we just get a black screen and the system keeps running. So with that, let's try out the next card and see how it doesn't work as well. Another thing that just shows you the pure craftsmanship of this graphics card is the fact that the PCI Express bracket is actually bent and you can't fit it into the case without straightening it out with some pliers. So that's also just so ridiculous. We're getting the same kind of signal output. Let's see if it behaves any differently to having new drivers installed. With this whole 8K on the 3090, I wonder if they mean 8K in the same way that Canon means 8K. It's gonna run it very well for 3 minutes and then catch on fire. So the exact same thing happens when you try and install drivers on that guy. The screen just goes black and it stays that way for ages. I left it for very long with this card. In all honesty, I'm not that interested in trying to get these GPUs to work today because, well, I know what it takes to get them to work, and that's a huge amount of effort. Now, they obviously behaved in the normal fake graphics card way when plugged into a system. I'm curious to see if they have the same GPU under there. Interestingly enough, they also use different memory chips than the configuration that I saw before, and that combined with the whole 6-pin power connector. I wonder what's under here. Let's pop it up, unplug it. Now on this, yeah, it's a GTS 450. it's the same GPU. I mean, I don't even really need to clean the thermal paste off to be able to tell that that's it. It's just a different PCB. That's interesting though. I wonder if it's going to be the same with that other card. The thing that gets me is, how are there this many GTS 450 dies in the wild? Was there just like a massive overproduction of them back in the day and, you know, some scammer just bought up all of them? And then the other question that raises is it the same scammer? Because these two cards were supposedly by different sellers on Amazon, if I don't remember correctly, but they actually come from the same sender in China. So I wonder if all of these scams isn't linked to one dude. Yeah, it's a GTS 450. It's the same card. Ugh, there we go. See, you can see these two are just identical GPUs under there. So basically what they do is they're continually making small changes to the PCBs. They're making small changes to the coolers so that they can hide the fact that it's a scam and try and scam a couple new people. Okay, well, that was very disappointing. I was really hoping that I'd at least get a different GPU in one of these cards. Not necessarily a better one, just different. I'm so sick of GTS 450s. I've got 4 of them at this point, which does give me a bit of an idea. Maybe I should try and flash these graphics cards back to their original BIOSes and then SLI them. I think that should be pretty fun. They don't have the SLI fingers, which you do need for the GTS 450 supposedly, but we'll see how that goes, right? If there's enough interest, I'll definitely do that video. The fact that these cards are all just weird, confused versions of the GTS 450 makes me think that this is all kind of the same person. I really wonder if there's some kind of like fake graphics card kingpin somewhere that just like bought up all of the leftover stock of GTS 450 GPUs for like 20 bucks and he's trying to make back his investment. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more content, I do have a gaming channel that I do with a friend of mine. It's called Beatable Games and I'll have it linked in the description below if you're interested to check out some Escape from Tarkov noob action. But yeah, until the next video, thank you very much for watching.